This Dragon Ball game is dying, or at least that's what I thought before they decided to crank the juice all the way up on this one. With new cards and strats, you know it pulled me right back in. But talk is cheap, so let's see how my favorite leader got a buff, and oh my gosh, it's huge. Alright, so we're getting into our first game. I can slow this down just a tad bit, just so we can talk about it. We're going against a Piccolo. It's not going to be anything crazy. So the new card that got printed for Cooler is this 4-drop, and you're going to see the insane things that it can do in this gameplay. If you don't know what it does is it comes in and you can tap it and put 2 meta Coolers out of your graveyard right back in the play on tap. Hold on, I'll just set it here for you. Switch this card to, okay, the ape doesn't want to listen to me. Switch this card to rest mode. Play up to 2 meta Coolers with a cost of 3 or less from your draw in rest mode. And with Cooler's ability to untap a card, that's 4 bodies on turn 4. It's insane. 5 bodies if you want to include Cooler himself. So we're playing against Piccolo. It's nothing crazy here. He's doing his turn 1 and 2 loops. I play out the Frieza. I just want to get Awakened. The desk consists of a bunch of Awakeners and the rest meta Coolers, with a little deck tech here and there like a double striker just to switch things up a bit. We utilize the crit. Really, he wants to block the crit early on because I don't care about the crit effect at all. The only thing I care about is running at your face as fast as possible. So if you want to take the crit or you don't want to take the crit, I'm fine with either or. We just need to speed the game up. So what we do here is we just punch him in the face. We get our Awakeners, we punch him in the face. It's just a climb down at this point to see how fast I can do it. And in our beautiful advance, the Piccolo seems to be on board with it. He's just letting me punch and punch and punch, and I love it. So we get Piccolo's Awakening side. Pretty dope animation all in all. I don't know how Piccolo is as a leader. I didn't really have any problems with him. He's just not my playstyle, I think. So the glory of this deck is we can protect our cards with meta Coolers. So on defense, it never feels like we're losing anything because we're just gonna bring it all right back. It's just the amount of beauty in this play strat is amazing. So we can speed this up a bit. He didn't do anything on turn 3. And I think as a green player, you need to have your ramp on turn 3 against this deck, and you need to be running the 7-drop that blows things up. Or you need to at least have an android to drop by turn 6. Or not turn 6, on turn 6 energy. Now we're just punching him in the face. We're just getting as many cards out of his hand as possible. We got super combos out of his hand, surprisingly. He's running a Piccolo deck, so you know he's running some dead cards. Granted, he just dropped a 5k, so I don't really know what to tell you. This is our dead turn. On turn 3, we're really looking for that Vegeta that says that stuff can't be KO'd. We didn't get it, unfortunately, and he gets his ramp. But he's a turn behind on ramp, and being a turn behind on ramp is really scary against this deck, because now we're just punching and punching and punching, and this is where it gets scary. This is where it gets scary. We discard a Cooler to pull back another, like, just so we have the perfect amount of Coolers in our graveyard. And it's just beautiful from this point out. It's just us swinging into his face. And honestly, we do this in a way where he wants to play his energy stuff because he knows that he's going to need more cards. But at this point, do we really need to show the rest of this video? We kind of know where this one goes. He uses Android, blows 2 things up, but at this point, what can he do? He needs cards for defense. He can't afford to combo cards away. And then he has androids. We could just protect. So he just scoops for us. And that's going to be our first video. Now that you get the gist of what the deck's going to do, or try to do, let's go into some little more competitive matchups. Alright, so in this one, we're going to be going against Beerus. It's a little bit of a toss-up when you're going against Beerus, because Beerus has that good removal power. And you have if you don't find the Vegeta, you're in a very odd situation, I want to say. But we have a decent hand. It's not the best hand. This is probably the second best hand we can be looking for. We threw in some Coolers. We have a little sauce. We don't want to go too heavy on the Cooler strat because if we go to heavy on the meta cooler strat, there's a position where Beerus can just do what he wants and we can't really do anything because he sees all our plays coming. So we need the occasional you can't see our plays coming. We're okay with taking the crit hits here because hopefully we get meta coolers in our graveyard. Spoiler alert, there isn't a single meta cooler in my entire life pool when he hits me with these crits. It makes me so absurdly mad, but it's okay, it's okay. We're doing fine. Charging a meta cooler here is a little bit questionable. I could have charged the regular cooler, but I think it's gonna be very valuable in the red matchup because it can KO a lot of his 1-drops, 2-drops, and it can rest anything else. So it's very deck techy here. We're getting punched, which is good for us because we don't really have a lot of Awakener pieces in our hand. Actually, we have none. And there goes another thing in our graveyard that is not a cooler. Yeah, so far we've gotten rid of a double strike and a cooler. You would think we're playing a Frieza deck. So we're gonna swing into the Gohan because at this point, I would rather just take card advantage from him because I know he's gonna want to protect it, than hit him for life. And I know he's not going to protect it because he's just gonna get Awakening. So we're just gonna target the Gohan, get some card advantage out of his hand. He used his energy marker, so I think we're kind of chilling on this. Now this is where the game state can be a little bit tossy, because now we're in Beerus like Awakening territory. He's gonna go, so he should have negged the cooler ahead of time, because if you're gonna put it at 5k, there's no reason for me to just sit there and let that happen. Like, I know we take a crit hit, but I'm praying for like, and we don't even get it. That's what I'm saying. Like, the luck that we have with how many coolers we're running is insane that we didn't get a single cooler in our graveyard off of those crit hits. But it's fine. It is what it is. I'm okay. We're going to Awaken, and now it's like dicey. Now we can give cards though to this. Like, we toss our meta coolers in the graveyard just by protecting ourselves. I wish he would have went a little bit more wider, because that means card advantage out of his hand on top of us just being able to play these bodies next turn. I'm charging the meta coolers at this point because why not? I'm in the predicament of I see now. I think I should have comboed here because I don't really have I only have 2 in the graveyard. Oh, I go for the cooler play. I forgot. The cooler play makes a whole lot more sense here actually. I can just untap the cooler, deal with the board. Yeah, I agree with this play 100%. Pass me was right. He has 2 cards in hand. He can either get rid of the advantage or not. I'm a little skeptical on why I didn't, because I'm just gonna protect. I see it. I didn't want to waste card advantage on discarding a card when I could just protect and then untap him. Granted, I should have untapped him there and got rid of a cooler. That way, if he attacked with crit, I could have just tapped something down and then, or not tapped something down, blew up the 2-drop. But I untap it because he attacked with crit anyways. I see where all of this went. I understand in a way, so he doesn't attack. It's not really a need for him to attack. It's gonna die either way, right? So there's not really, I understand all of these. I think we want to get rid of this this Jiren. This Jiren can become a problem for yellow, but with cooler, I feel like he's less of a threat. So he's going to do the ability, and Jiren prevents himself from being KO'd once, which means that now we kind of have to go into it. He gives it to us, which by all means, I'm honestly shocked. He has 2 cards in hand, which I understand. And here we're going to just get our cooler blockers back because we want to feel safe. They untap at the end of our turn. So all in all, this is just a beautiful setup for us. So the fear that I have the most is the 5-drop Beerus. 5-drop Beerus puts us in a bad situation, but it does not necessarily kill us outright because we still have 2 30Ks on board. He needs to get rid of one of the 30Ks on board, and if he does, keeping the cooler there puts us in a perfect like setup turn because he hasn't gotten rid of it yet. And he goes ahead and gets rid of the cooler. I think that that's the regular cooler. I think that's a bad play because I would have gotten rid of the Getty Star cooler, because if I just protect it, what can you really do about it? Because he's 30k, you have to put something into him if you're going to attack with lead. And if you don't put nothing into him, I'm going to make sure that he stays around. I'm willing to give a super combo here because having 2 of them is so much better than having 1. And the chances of him having another Beerus is insane to me. So here we're kind of in a predicament of why charge. There's no real point. We only run 2 double strikes. There's no point in having being at 5 energy. So I'm just going to attack face, set up board a little bit. We're going to untap our cooler, putting another cooler in the graveyard, and we're just gonna rinse and repeat. This is the Ginyu package that I've always wanted. The beautiful ability to just go incredibly wide and our opponent having little to no answers for it. We're gonna grab our blockers, all 3 of them. We're gonna set this up. If he doesn't have a Beerus, keep in mind, no Beerus means it's just GG's. And now we're waiting on his response. Him doing that scares me that he has a Beerus, but he doesn't. So now we just need to protect. No Beerus means the blockers come in such a huge clutch because we just redirect big attacks to the blockers. We keep the Getty Star out, so he's constantly having a problem. And if he's gonna be on the defense like this, we can constantly press offense. Offense is the best defense here, and there's no problem with that. And now he has no cards in hand. It's looking bad for him. I can just go ahead and give some cards out of my hand. And what more could you ask for? This is a beautiful board. So here he's trying to play a little tricky. He's gonna swing the Beerus, which is gonna remove a card. He's decided to opt fully on defense. And I understand the thought process here, but what he messed up here was doing that. He should have negged 10 the blocker first, because he didn't even have neg 10 actually, because he already did it. So I don't really understand it. I guess he wanted to get rid of more blockers out of my hand or off of the field, but the game's pretty much over here. Like, the game is pretty much over here. I could amount a board state that he couldn't do anything with, and now he has 3 cards in hand, and I have 3 cards on field, and I haven't played a card yet. And then Cooler can untap a card and swing again. This game is beyond over. I love the aggression that Cooler brings to the table in this card game, and it just doesn't get any better than this. All right, so we're gonna be playing Blue Vegeta, which is kind of a bad matchup for Yellow. Honestly, I think blue is just the best color in the entire format right now, and it's a really tough one for me. So into this one, I'm having a really bad, this is a good hand against every single other color other than blue. So I get rid of the Vegeta. He's an Awakener, but there's really no point in keeping him. The KO ability really only matters for literally black and green and red. Blue doesn't care. So he hits us. It is what it is. We're gonna have to play a little bit of a slower game, which is weird because that's what blue wants to do anyways, but I'm gonna try to utilize my crits as much as possible. He's not gonna want to take the hits, and I kind of want to surmise like value out of his hand. So I'm going to see if he doesn't want to take the hits if he's gonna take the hits here. And he doesn't, which is good for us. He gets rid of peel off, which means he's probably running peel off shenanigan loops like with the new Videl that printed, which I'm fine with. He's not gonna want to take this crit if he wasn't willing to take the regular damage. So we get 2 cards out of his hand. It's what blue wants to do anyways, but it's also what our game plan wants to do. So in a way, this is our worst matchup because of we don't want a long game. But this is also a pretty good matchup into the strategy that we have into a long game. Which the strategy is card advantage. We're going to net more cards by playing around the graveyard if those cards stay on the field. So in all, it's more of a praying that he doesn't draw the right cards and getting as many cards out of his hand to end the game in a position that we want it to be in. I say that, but that's what every color wants really, right? All right. We're gonna try to get Awakening. Whether we get it or not is skeptical. I'm also not seeing any of the big Getty Star coolers, which isn't good for us, so I'm throwing down a blocker. I'm just going to try to keep surmising card advantage out of his hand. Keeping this Videl on board seems important for him because it can give him the loops that he's looking for. But at this point, he's given us a lot of value for it. So the fact that he doesn't want to give any more is kind of insane. He gave us a lot. He gave us, what, 2 cards off of that, and it died. So that's 3 cards in my book for just swinging at him. All right, we haven't touched his life at all. Gohan's at 30. His card advantage is going away, and he's punching at us. So here I opt to just take it. I have a lot of super combos. I went ahead and blocked this normally because I wasn't sure if I wanted to utilize crit within his life total yet. So I'm in a very weird predicament. Drawing into these 3 coolers that I run is kind of insane considering I'm running like 20 meta coolers. I'm looking for anything. A Getty Star cooler would just be the best card that I need right now. Not getting it on turn 4 is the only scary part about playing this deck. But he doesn't have a lot of cards in his hand. I noticed that. So I'm just going to opt to use Cooler's ability, which is going to demand more cards out of his hand, or he can keep this 4-drop. He gives us a super combo because he's running low on cards, which means he doesn't have a lot of options, and we're going to take away his options. So we use Cooler's ability because why not? We don't have a lot of plays. We have a 4-drop on board. Worst that could happen is he plays a 4-drop. He's missing on energy. He already uses energy marker, so he gave us something insane here. He gave us this 5-drop, which I understand. He's nowhere near to turn 5, but he's gonna get there eventually. Like, this game is gonna get dragged out, and that's a huge card for him. Granted, he's swinging in us. He's not comboing anything because he needs card advantage now. He had to skip a draw because I'm assuming he had something really good in his hand that he didn't want to get rid of. And then he has Sickle for 1. It's not the best Sickle, but that card creates a problem because I can untap it constantly. So I understand. I'm going to charge the 5 because this game is long. We might need the double strike. I see the meta cooler Getty Star draw, so I immediately combo. I need the amount of as many coolers in my graveyard as possible now. And now we're cooking. The only thing that I'm afraid of now is it's a Zeno. The only thing I'm afraid of now is a Zeno. So we get the full combo going. It's on turn 5, not turn 4. It's a little bit worse, but the way that the game played out, he had to miss an energy charge. So I can try to surmount the advantage I have, and we're gonna take away a lot of his life really fast on this turn, which means he's a turn behind because he didn't get the charge. So we don't have a Zeno to worry about. We just have his next upcoming turn. He didn't play anything on turn 4 because he just doesn't have anything to play. And then we're just going in. He's gonna take all these hits. I'm gonna give him all the hits I could possibly give. And we're just gonna keep swinging at this man. Swing for the fences. And now he finally gets his awakening. We gave this man a full hand. He went from not having any cards at all to a full grip. I think the problem with his strat is he tried to play it like a regular blue player. Ooh, I don't want to exit this. He tried to play it like a regular blue player, which is just drag the game on, but he needs card advantage to kind of deal with me. I don't think you need to drag the game on. You need to know your matchups. Him sacrificing valuable cards for a strat like this is insane because there's going to be a brief period where I don't do anything. But since he didn't have any plays to do, he couldn't take advantage of that brief period where I didn't do anything. So now we're playing for a rush game. Can he survive all these attacks that I'm throwing at him? I don't really care about surmising value, because I don't have anything to bring back. Unfortunately, we have no coolers in the graveyard, so we might as well just untap the cooler and keep swinging into him. It's a 30k that demands 2 cards or a super combo. He's gonna swing at me, so this is the riskiest thing I could have done. I take it. because I'm at 2. He could have a double striker, but I have a pretty decent combo hand. It's not the best, but I have a good combo hand. I have 60k in my combo hand. Granted, he could have got to 45, 55, 65, but I have 70 just in my hand. So it's a toss up. And if he doesn't get rid of the blocker, it was kind of a bait too. Because if he goes all in and he doesn't get rid of the Getty Star, I probably just win. I probably just dump so much value out of my hand or out of my graveyard. It's probably just game. Now it's just a numbers game at this point. I have 6 energy. I can untap a card so it can attack twice. And I have 4 cards on board. And he has, oh my gosh, like it just doesn't get better than this. Can it get better than this? I love this deck. Oh my gosh, this is insane. Do the math. All right, I'm taking from life now. You have to give me a card. And then once you give me a card, I haven't untapped a card and I can play 2 things and I have a full grip. You won't have the combo to outdo me here. And sadly, he just takes it because he didn't have the combo anyways. He had a 5-drop, a 0k combo, a sickle, and a mine. And that's gonna be our deck breakdown. I just got back into Fusion World. I went from being at the top of my game in God rank season 1, and then season 2 really hurt the game for me. Ban lists never make the game fun. Zero top coup metas really hurt the game in my opinion. But I'm back and I'm better than ever. And we might be in silver right now, but I promise we will make it back to God rank before the end of the season. Anyways, it's been real. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Joe Boy signing out.